Hey, how's it going? And welcome back to another Hardcore Iron Man progress video. We are starting this video off by doing some free-to-play quests. And apparently Delrith from Demon Slayer only has 7 HP, which is really weird because when I was a little kid, I remember this being a pretty tough boss fight, but I just 2-hit him. I really should have done all these free-to-play quests on day 1, and it's kind of embarrassing that I'm just getting around to them now, but it really is so much easier now that I have all these teleports available. And I know Gertrude's cat isn't a free-to-play quest, but it's such an easy quest, it really should be free-to-play. I bet they'd all really like to have pet cats too. Like, can you imagine going to a free-to-play world and everyone has a cat following them? I also got a chocolate cake from the quest, which is an item I'll need for Desert Treasure, so that's going to save me a few minutes in the future. When I finished the dig site, I had the option of chocolate cake or fruit blast, and I went with the fruit blast because I'll need it for Recipe for Disaster. And I did not even realize I would get the chocolate cake from this quest, so I'm glad it all worked out in the end. And here is Prince Ali Rescue complete, which is going to be very nice because now I won't have to punch goblins every time I forget my 10 GP. It is just so satisfying completing all these quests so quickly and seeing the quest screen turn all green. At this point, I've only got a couple free-to-play quests left, and once those are done, the quest screen is gonna look beautiful. There's people who compete and try to speedrun all the free-to-play quests with a new account, and they're crazy. Like, they can do them all in just a couple hours, but it makes sense because they're all really so quick. And if there's people who can do all those free-to-play quests on a brand new account, then there's really no excuse for me to not have them done by now. Now that I've done Black Knight's Fortress, I could do Recruitment Drive, but I'm actually secretly scared of that quest because you gotta defeat a guy with no equipment, and that's how Soup lost his hardcore status on his first account. It's nice getting all these little GP rewards at the start because they really do add up when you've got almost nothing, and that cash stack I have right there is actually my full cash stack. And there's Goblin Diplomacy done. It's an instant complete quest just like Dork's quest, you just gotta spend time getting all the items beforehand. It's also a quest requirement for the Lost Tribe and Recipe for Disaster, so we're gonna have to start working on those soon. Getting Barrow's Gloves is still so far away, but it's gonna be nice to get that done eventually, so it's nice that we're finally taking the first steps to get there. I'm currently trying to grow my cat right now because I remember there's some quest that you need a fully grown cat for, I forgot which one, but my cat just keeps meowing and I'm surprised that the witch hasn't noticed me yet. I swear, cats are so malicious, it's like they're all out to get you or something. I've heard a lot of people die to this quest boss just due to being stupid, but I used the safe spot here and it really wasn't that bad of a boss. No, the kitty's still stuck inside. Actually, you know what? That cat can stay there because he was starting to get on my nerves. I'll let the witch eat him or do whatever witches do with cats. But that is an awesome quest to have done, especially on a hardcore Iron Man. We gained a lot of hit points XP, and we gained 2 hit points levels from that, so we now have 40 HP. I went to go do the Lost Tribe quest, and I was legit about to go into the caves with just a candle, but thankfully I read through the guide and found out that you could take a lot of damage very fast if you risk it with just a candle, and I guess a lot of hardcore Iron Men have died that way. But thankfully, I did have some molten glass in my bank from earlier, so I was able to craft a candle lantern which will prevent the fire from going out so I won't take any damage. Something I've learned from my previous work experience is that it's better to be a fire preventer than a firefighter, and they'll just save way more time and energy in the long run. There's really no such thing as shortcuts, and it's not worth it to do that on a hardcore Iron Man, but here's the quest complete, and we got a Ring of Life. And that Ring of Life is not going to be coming off my finger until I get a defense cape. With Lost Tribe done, I wanted to do Death to the Dorgashun, but the only problem was I needed 2 full sets of ham robes, which means all 7 pieces for each. So I went to the ham hideout to try and pickpocket all the pieces, but it was just taking way too long and I ran out of food. But we did gain a thieving level there, and we got 38 thieving, which means we can now pickpocket master farmers, which could come in very useful to get seeds. But it was just taking way too long, and I kept failing so much, and I ran out of food, so I think I'm just going to come back here once I get a higher thieving level. Because at this point, I don't think it's worth it investing all the extra time into this quest. So I just kind of rage quit and teleported to the other side of the map and did the Plague City quest. And this was seriously the easiest quest to do. You could do this on a brand new account, first day, no requirements. We also unlocked the RD teleport spell, which we can't use yet, we still gotta get 51 magic first. But once we get to that point, we are gonna have to be careful about using that spell because it does use 2 law runes rather than 1. And right after I finished that quest, my kitty grew up into a cat. I know I could keep raising kittens into cats and trading them in for 100 death runes, but it's not worth it to me. It's just too much extra effort for not enough payout, and I'd rather just keep a fully grown cat in my bank so it'll be ready for that one quest that you need the cat for, and I still can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's rat catchers though. But after I finished Plague City, I went to go do the next quest in the storyline, which is Biohazard, which also has no requirements besides completing Plague City. But I finished that quest and got some thieving XP, and I was so close to getting 39 thieving. I'm just 9 XP away. The next quest I did because I was in the area was Sheep Herder. When I was young and did this quest for the first time, it was the most frustrating quest ever, and it took me like 2 hours to do. But this time around, it took me like maybe 10 or 15 minutes to do. Like, it really was not a challenging quest whatsoever. I still think it's crazy that over the years your perspective on things can change so much, and starting this new account and redoing all these quests is really making me realize that. But I did finish the quest, and it really is a pointless quest to do. The only thing that's useful for is that it's a requirement for Morning's End Part 1. But we also got about 3k GP, which is nice at this point because we still do have that really small cash stack. After I did Sheep Herder, I was kind of burnt out from questing for the day, so I went to Catherby to train some fishing and cooking. I was just doing some big net fishing for a while, and we got level 30 cooking, which means we can cook tuna once we get to that point. I really enjoyed training these two skills here because I can just fish my fish right over there, and on my way back to the bank I can cook all the food and then just deposit it and run back. And then here is level 35 fishing, which means we can now grab our harpoon and start fishing tuna. And that's exactly what I did. I started harpooning tuna as soon as I got 35, and that was a very bad decision because it took me like 1 minute to catch each fish, and it was way too slow, so I had to go back to fishing with a net. And we reached level 35 cooking, and cooking is really starting to catch up to fishing. I wouldn't be surprised if it passes it very soon. This also means that we unlock the fastest cooking method in the game, which is wines. But we don't really have a way to get that much supplies yet, so we're not going to worry about that for now. The chat here at Catherby is so relaxed and wholesome, especially when you compare it to something like Wintertodt. But this guy here is just like helping this other dude out with his relationship problems, and he's telling about his own experiences with his girlfriend, and it's just so wholesome. Anyway, speaking of public chat, I really do have to get to Wintertodt at some point, so I think the next goal on my account will be doing all the quests that I need to start Fairy Tale Part 2, so that way I can unlock the fairy rings. And that way I can start camping tree spirits in the Enchanted Valley and hopefully get a rune axe. And they drop a lot of nature runes as well, so we should be able to start stocking up on those. And once we get that rune axe, we can finally start training woodcutting for real, because I have 53 woodcutting, and I've still been using that same steel axe that I got from Bob in episode 1 this whole time, which is no bueno. And from there, we should be able to easily get level 50 firemaking and be ready for Wintertodt. I'm really hoping to get a dragon axe from Wintertodt, even though the odds are super low, because the only other way to get them in the game are from DKs. And I'm not planning to ever do DKs as a hardcore, because you really never know when the servers can go bad, and it's not something I'm willing to risk. It's a limitation that comes with making this kind of account, and I've been aware from that from the start. But for now, I still want to get a few more fishing and cooking levels so I can stockpile some food in the bank, so that way I'll be ready for Wintertodt. But right here, we just got level 37 cooking, which means it is now tied up with fishing. And here is level 40 cooking, and at this point we still just have level 38 fishing, so it's really starting to get ahead now. This also means we can cook lobster once we get level 40 fishing, but I am going to be waiting a while for that because it's going to be super slow, at least until the 50s in fishing. Big net fishing does seem kind of stupid, but one of the benefits is that you get seaweed from it. And you can cook the seaweed on the stove to make soda ash, and the soda ash can be made in the furnace with a bucket of sand to make molten glass. And that's pretty neat. Like, if I wasn't an Iron Man or didn't watch Iron Man videos, I don't think I would have ever known about that. And right here we just got 42 cooking, which puts us at 700 total level. One other cool thing about big net fishing for Iron Man is that you get some obscure fish like mackerel and bass, and I know they're used in some quests at some point. I'm not sure which, but I remember multiple occasions having to buy them on my main when I was questing, so I'm just going to throw them in my questing tab until the point where I need them. You also have a chance of getting a casket which can have gems, or even a key half, which is very helpful as an Iron Man, by the way. And here we are with level 40 fishing now, which means we can fish lobsters, but like I said before, we are going to wait a while to do that. And we got the sandwich lady coming in with the meat pie. I don't know if it's going to be useful for any quest or not, but I'm still going to keep it in my bank because food is food. But now that we're level 40 fishing, we're going to start harpooning again, and hopefully we'll catch fish at a better rate now. We got our first inventory complete, and it's definitely faster than having level 35 fishing, and it's only going to get quicker over time. So we cooked our first inventory of tuna, and I mean, it's not the best, but for level 42 cooking, you can't ask for that much. But I mean, it's such a fast skill, and over time, just like with fishing, I'll burn less and less. But it feels nice finally starting to stock up on some mid-level food and gaining XP at the same time. See, this second inventory of tuna wasn't too bad. It feels so weird cooking on two accounts at once, because whenever I'm playing my hardcore, I'm usually going to be cooking on my main. But now that I'm cooking on the hardcore at the same time, it's like Inception or something. It's so weird, I feel like they're racing. And now we've got level 45 cooking, and I like to record all the levels that end in either a 5 or a 0. I feel like they're they're just cool milestones. I don't record every level at this point because they're just so fast and it would just take up too much space in the video. But once my levels start getting up there like in the 60s and 70s, I'll be recording more of them because it's going to take longer between levels. But yeah, anyways, 45 cooking means we can cook swordfish. It's weird, I feel like fishing and cooking are the reverse of woodcutting and fletching, because with fletching you need your level to be like 5 levels higher than the woodcutting requirement to fletch that log into a bow. But with cooking, the level requirement is like 5 to 10 levels lower than the fishing requirement. I was just having a shower thought, so I thought that was kind of neat, but here is level 45 fishing now. Nothing really interesting unlocked at this level, but it does end in a 5, so that's pretty cool. I know this 3-piece graceful is really bad and looks stupid on me, so I do have to finish up that set at some point. But I am very excited for the future of this account, and I'm hoping to gain more total levels for the next progress video rather than spend half the video questing. Although quests are very nice to have done, and actually I think I will need to do like 4 more quests to unlock fairy rings, so you can ignore what I just said about not questing next video. I just really want to get that rune axe sooner rather than later. But it is time to end the video now, so I hope you're enjoying the Hardcore Iron Man series so far, and if so, please give the video a like so I know that you want to see more of it. And if you want to stay tuned for more, then please subscribe to the channel, it really would mean a lot to me. I also made a Discord for the channel, so that link will be in the description if you want to join. We have some really great and awesome people in there, and it's a great place to make friends. And same thing with my clan chat, it's always open, and the name is Mudkip, so feel free to come by whenever to say hi and meet some people. But I am just having so much fun making this account. I hope I don't die soon, but so far so good. So as always, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.